Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Cubs on Tap. I am your host tonight, Joey Ricotta at Joey Knows Nothing. I am joined by the one and only Nick at Nick_on Tap. You can find us at Cubbies on Tap, Cubbies on Tap. And we are part of the On Tap Sports Network, one of two official Cubs podcasts here at OnTapSportsNet.com. Along with the Dingers Boys Dingers podcast at Dinger Cubs on Twitter. Go ahead and check them out as well. Here to talk about a Barnhart burner, Nick. 10-1 defeat tonight, losing the series. No sweep for you, said the Mets. So, yeah, I guess, I'm not even really up in arms about it. Just not really. But how are you doing, Nick? What are your thoughts about this game tonight?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Doing similarly. It'd be happier with the sweep, obviously, but 2 out of 3 with a hot Mets team. It was a good home series overall. So I'm like you, I'm not up in arms about it. Just would have liked to see a better finish, but overall I'm happy.
Yeah, and that brings me to Kyle Hendricks, I guess. That's kind of why I'm happy. I know not a great outing, right? It was kind of to be expected, I guess. We didn't really know what to expect. He didn't quite give you 5 innings. Went out there, pitched. He had 86 pitches. He got up to 5 runs, 3 of them earned. Some bad luck there, though. I think a little bit of bad luck mixed in there. I don't know. What were your thoughts on Hendricks' performance tonight?
Sure, yeah. It's obviously not a sexy stat line, but overall, I'm happy to have Hendricks back. It was great to see him back out there, and that changeup, that just gets me so excited. That is a filthy pitch for him, and to see that stuff's still working and still playing now. I'll be honest, I was really worried like how he would look tonight, and I thought it was possible he could go out there and get really shook up in the first, but he held his composure. Worked around some things, all things considered. I thought it was a great outing. I mean, the stat line, like we said, it's not great if you just look at the line, but he looked good.
Yeah, that's kind of my main takeaway too, I think. I mean, his line here is a whole 4 1/3, 6 hits, 5 runs, 3 earned, a couple walks, 5 Ks. Really had the strikeout pitch moving around. And then he got guys to 2 strikes. And, Hendricks, it seems like he's always that guy in the first inning. He has a little bit of a shakeup, or just if he can get through that first inning, he's a lot like Marcus Stroman that way, but even more extreme. The first inning difficulties that we've seen, at least over the last couple of years. The guy has not been good the last couple of years. I mean, like I think the minimum or like the lowest ERA he's had was like 4.7 or something to finish the season, 4.70 ERA. But at the same time, we know how good he can be, and the velo seems like it's back up, which for Hendricks is still not like super high or anything, but I think it does mean something. And I could tell, to me, I don't know about you, but to me, it seemed like a lot of the awkward swings that he was getting and the way that he was just where he was throwing the pitches. Like, I didn't think the location was that far off. It wasn't like he was really struggling with a ton of command or control. Like, maybe not as fine as he'd want to be, of course. But first game pitching since July 5th of last season, missing the final 3 months of the year and then going through this drive line style of a off-season throwing program to kind of rebuild and retool, not only get the shoulder right after the tear, but to kind of build some more velocity and build more strength. And I thought that, like you said, with the changeup, I thought that changeup was really good. And another thing that I saw that really stuck out to me was he didn't really throw that many curveballs. He only threw, I think it was 5 curveballs, which turned out to be like, 6% of his pitches, which last season and the year before that, he was up around 11 to 12% average per game, or average pitch usage for that curveball. So I don't know if that's something to really look into too deeply, but I'm kind of watching that. Called strikes plus whiffs. about half of those pitches, or actually 60% of them, were called strikes plus whiffs on the curveball. So it wasn't like it was a terrible pitch for him, but I don't know, man. Some of those bleeders, right? Like you got Jeff McNeil, little half swing, like trying to chop down a tree. He just floats the bat out there, and you got a base hit. Alonso's hit, that one wasn't anything special. It's like,
yeah,
it's kind of what we dealt with tonight, Nick.
Yeah, it was a lot of bad luck. It seemed like all things were going against the Cubs. And like I said, you'd be a lot more upset about this if the first two didn't go well. So it wasn't that awful feeling you get as a Cubs fan, especially as of late, because it has been refreshing to see good games and good all-around baseball. But tonight it just wasn't there for the Cubs. I mean, there were some bright spots, honestly. We have the Dansby home run. There were some other good things that happened, but for Hendricks, it seemed like he had a lot of bad luck against him.
Yeah, for sure. And that's kind of one of those things where I guess it's nice to just see him get the pitch count up at this point. 82 was the highest he got it in his rehab appearances, and 86 here. That's cool to see. I mean, Ross, obviously, I don't know why. I don't think they were going to try to stretch him out too far, but I know they mentioned on the broadcast too, like Ross said, there was no limit or whatever. And I mean, to me, I would have probably capped it at like 80, because even though you're at 82 in the minors, we know the pressure cooker when you get to the big leagues, like it's a little different. And I know Hendricks is calm, cool. He's a veteran. He's 33. He's the professor. He doesn't show any emotion, but still, to me, I would have been like, at this juncture in this type of game when you're trailing, I probably would have been okay with like 80, but nonetheless, I mean, still good to see Mr. Hendo, the professor, back in action, man.
Yeah.
So with that said, I think Nick's, you freezing up over there, or is that my internet?
It might
have been me. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I just saw your face disappear and I didn't hear you. But did you have another thought on that, Nick?
I was just gonna say, Hendricks, he's a guy that can give you some innings, and I think we desperately need that. So I'm hoping that he can just stay sharp and settle through some innings.
Yeah, we'll have to see. It can't be much worse than JMO at this point, really.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. Exactly. 100%.
And okay, if he's gonna do this, if he can give you 5, I remember I was listening to Ron and Juice the other night talking about, if he can give you those 5 innings, maybe 2 runs, that sort of thing. Yeah, that would have been awesome. We didn't quite get that. He didn't even make it to the 5th, or make it through the 5th. But the Mets are a good team. We talked about that pre-show. The Mets are 2 out of 3 all day, baby. All day. You'll take that against the Mets. It's just, I guess you probably wanted a sweep here because of how awful they had been coming into this home stretch,
Yeah, that would have been nice. I think that would have been a real momentum swinger. But you saw some great things, and mainly guys that were hot are staying hot. So that's important to keep the momentum going on as we go on our road trip here.
Yeah, I mean, well, we still have, we've got the Reds here coming up, the weekend series, Memorial Day weekend. I will be there Saturday. I believe Ron will be there Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then I think we have the Rays, actually, for, is it 3? Yeah, I think it's 3 games at home. And then, but so a little bit of a stretch here, where maybe we could take advantage of. The Reds got some good young pitching, though. I mean, they're not going to be an easy team to just get rid of here. And I don't know, man. Some of the bats have kind of cooled off here a little bit too, that I'm a little worried about, like Wisdom. I mean, when's the last time you've seen him do really anything? Talkman, I don't know. I mean, when he came up and didn't get a hit in that like 2-out, it was a 2-out bases loaded situation, I think. I'm like, holy shit, man. He left 4 guys on base tonight. The only real thing positive-wise on offense tonight was the Dansby bomb, which kept the Cubs from getting shut out. They still haven't been shut out this year. And let's see, Seiya Suzuki. I thought Suzuki's at bats look really good. 2 for 3 for him with a walk. Outside of that, not a whole lot. Horner was fine. 1 for 3 with a walk. Mervis, dude, like he's kind of. I'm not going to get on him about like what are you thinking right now with when it comes to Matt Mervis? I know he's in the developing stage very much.
Yeah. So. Yeah, and he is in the developing stage. You got to give him some time. You got to give him some patience here. You just got to wonder at what point is his confidence going to start to get damaged, and that's really what you got to watch out for in a young player. But he's had some tough spots. He's come up in some tough situations. I think the pressure has built onto him. But I'm hoping that he can just shed this away and start to just put the ball in play. When he hits the ball, he hits it very hard. So just to, get some hard singles, get maybe some ropes down the line, get some doubles, try to get out of this funk of just nothingness. And I think he will. It's just young players, you got to give them that patience and that time.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of seemed that way where now I'm not looking at any of the stats from the minors that from when he first started to when he really started to tear up each level after his promotions. But I feel like if I'm remembering this right, he kind of was a little bit slower to start out in AAA too. And then he took off. Like he just absolutely took off. And that's kind of what I'm hoping for here. I do think like just watching him, it seems like he's flying open just a little too much. Like it's clear to me why they're throwing him so many breaking balls because he's way out ahead of everything. He's very aggressive right now to try to hunt for a fastball. And to me, I was listening to obviously Ron and Juice do the show the other night, and they were talking about like you liking him down in the lineup a little bit more, where he's like in that 9 hole. Today he was in the 7 hole. So not really a ton of protection behind him with Wisdom, who has been really struggling lately. Obviously teams are aware of trends and things of that nature. Wisdom can hurt you though, so maybe they'd still consider that a protection spot. I don't know. At this point I don't really, but the only issue I have against him hitting in like a 9 spot to, as Juice put it, like buy more fastballs, for his development's sake, I don't really want that. Like I actually want him to face these curveballs right now. Like I want him to just go straight for it, nose in there. And yeah, confidence-wise, that makes a ton of sense, and it would help our lineup, honestly. If he's at that 9 spot or wherever and he gets protection from the top of the order or something like that, that would really help our lineup, help the production, help his confidence, which is big. Don't get me wrong. That's a huge part of this. But I kind of want him to fight through this adversity a little bit and see more of those breaking pitches, because if you can't figure that out and make the adjustments, I mean, like eventually when you get moved up in the lineup, it's going to be the same type of thing, right? And I want to see him battle through that, and maybe he does need to go back down for a little bit, but I think we're too early to say that. At least I am. I don't know about you, Nick.
Yeah, I still think it's too early to say that, and I find that very interesting. I mean, leaving him there to face those curveballs and just keep trying to change the way his approach is, because he's not going to get the fastballs. Teams have the technology now. They know exactly all your stats, everything going into it. They have the report on you. So he's not going to get the fastball until he starts to show that he can lay off the breaking ball. And if he's flying open, like you said, it's a telltale sign for a pitcher. Just throw one in there, and that's an easy spot there. So I think it's too early to send him down. The 9 spot, I'm also like, I don't think I'm there yet either. I'd like to see him stay towards the 7 still. And that's fine with me. But the 9 spot, not yet.
Yeah, I mean, and I guess I really don't have like a preference of where he's at. Like it's not like I'm saying I don't want him to hit ninth. It's just more about I would want him to kind of fight through this. That's all. And I think and that's So I like what you're saying there. I think we'll see what happens. I think he will make the adjustments though. He's too talented. He's torn up every level where some guys get to the big leagues and they can't figure it out, but like this is not the hitter that he looked like in the minor. He wasn't doing this really, So I think he will figure it out. I guess the rest of the lineup though, the other bad thing that happened tonight, which I mean a 10-1 loss is bad enough as it is, but Christopher Morel's hitting streak is over, and that sucks.
Yeah, that definitely sucks. He had not a great game tonight. I mean, he went over right completely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. He had 1 K, 0 for 4 with a K, and a couple left on.
Yeah, and I thought he had a couple left on as well. It's gonna happen. You can't be Superman all the time, but I think he's gonna find it. He's way too talented to just put that up all the time.
Yeah, no doubt. I don't know about you, but I was a little bit pissed off later on in the game when I was thinking about the situation that Tauchman came up with 2 outs and the bases loaded. I'm like, fuck. Morel's hitting behind Tauchman. You're going lefty righty. I get it, but like, why? Like, Morel should be up there in that situation.
Yeah, I agree with you. I saw the lineup today and I went, why is Morel behind Tauchman? I don't like that at all. I think he should be definitely ahead of Tauchman. I mean, not that Tauchman's been doing terrible. He hasn't been doing terrible, really. Tonight, that's rough. You can't just leave bases loaded like that. And that was also a non-competitive at bat as well. So just hate that as well.
I mean, it's almost like just looking at the lineup. Yeah, you have Mastrobuoni hitting. Well, he wasn't hitting second. He came in the game late, but you've had that at one point. And I mean, like, it's almost like they're trying to balance out. Ross is trying to balance out like hitting good right now and hitting bad right now, like every other. And not to say Tauchman's been bad, because he hasn't been bad, but tonight he wasn't good.
Yeah, it was bad.
And I mean, he's not proven. Like he's not a proven commodity. But I mean, I guess when you have Seiya, then you have Tauchman, then you have Morel. That same line of thinking could be, well, Morel is going to give Tauchman some protection, so maybe that opens the door. Like we were talking about with Mervis hitting maybe 9 with the protection.
Yeah.
So that could be that thought process, I guess. But I mean, I guess I don't know. We're getting kind of nitpicky order wise, but I mean, it's just it kind of bothers you every once in a while.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to be more aggressive. Get your big guys up there towards the top of the lineup, have more opportunities. But yeah, I think it is a little nitpicky. And overall, if that's exactly the protection type of deal, I could see it. So
yeah, we'll have to see what the lineup looks like tomorrow. When they had the broadcast up, see, I hate looking up like, oh, what's the pitching matchup for tomorrow? Like I hate doing that because like I never go to the best spot to do that, even though I play fantasy baseball and I have to know like who has a 2-start week and like all this for like the most points in your lineup. But I just don't have a good layout for it for whatever reason. So it takes me 10 fucking years and everybody else probably has a way better layout. But with that said, they put up like a graphic and they had the pitching matchup. So we'll talk about that a little bit with the Reds. I don't know. Wrap up thoughts on this game. I mean, Rucker gave up some runs. We had, the bullpen was whatever. Then we found our closer maybe. So
yeah, I was gonna say that's what I was gonna say. I think out of everything today in this game is we found our closer. Tucker has saved a spot perhaps on the roster, completely solidified. He is the closer moving forward. I mean, it was a little rough at first, but he shut it down. I mean, just pop-ups, beautiful.
Dude, 39 mile per hour cheese, straight cheddar. My God. He was making him look nasty. I think Miguel Amaya needs to learn how to pitch in order to get a promotion.
Right.
That's what needs to happen. Miguel Amaya, I'm sorry, you're just going to be in AAA forever because you can't pitch.
Yeah, Tucker's got you beat.
Yeah, but no, man, this was obviously it was a stinker. It was very much a stinker. We're going to keep this show kind of short, I guess, tonight because, like we said, we're not. You even said, yeah, I'm not really all up in arms about it. It's 2 out of 3, and it's hard to take away much. Like Carlos Carrasco, he was pretty good tonight. It's pretty good.
He was pretty good, and I was worried about him coming into the series. He's not doing well this year, but against the Cubs, I just had a feeling that he was going to look real good, and he did. And the wind was blowing in, so that's part of it. But still, he looked real good, and Cubs had no small ball of any kind either.
No, they had nothing. It was Dansby homer cutting it through the wind, and that was about it. And
yeah, he smoked that one.
That was a fucking shot, dude. Yeah, because that, like you said, the wind blowing in, that should not be. I mean, that got up there. It wasn't like just barely over the basket or into the basket. Like that was, he put a charge in that one. And
yeah, he smoked it.
That's cool to see. Obviously, the polar bear got a hold of one too against the Cubs. So second of the series for him.
Rough times for the Cubs and the polar bear.
Yeah. And a guy I really wanted the Cubs to go after this offseason, or like I was on board with, and I know he got a crazy amount of money, maybe not worth what he got, but like he's on base all the fucking time. He's kind of a nuisance that way. He sprints it after a walk to first base. Brandon Nimmo.
Brandon Nimmo.
He's annoying, but he's really fucking good.
He is really fucking good. Yeah, that is a guy that you would love to have. I mean, that would be an embarrassment of riches at that point. If you could get Brandon Nimmo, that would be awesome. But Cubs, I mean, that's a big ask.
Yeah, I mean, especially because they filled it with that center field with Bellinger. So, I mean, and I'm cool with that. I like that a lot.
It turned out to be okay, but it was a question mark. I mean, and Brandon Nimmo is not a question mark. He's a guy that definitely is very good, and definitely, like you said, a nuisance. He just gets on and just causes havoc, puts pressure on the game, gets runs scored and batted in all around. He's a good player.
Yeah, and like I actually kind of like that part in the game where they were talking about the no hesitation and like not relying on your base runner, especially when the ball's hitting the right center field gap. And I'm like, yeah, there's no. I mean, he was not looking. He's still going for 3, even in that situation where the game's basically like he didn't need to get a triple there. Like that's just a guy still playing hard.
3 right out of he knew.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's fast.
Right out of the gates, dude. But yeah, final thoughts, man. Final thoughts on this game, anyways. Like, what was there anything that stood out? Otherwise,
you're gonna have these. The wind was blowing in. Taylor McGregor said it felt like 30 degrees or like 35 degrees. So it did seem kind of like colder than. It wasn't like a hot day where the ball's gonna be flying out or anything like that. So you're gonna have these games. It makes it a lot better that you took 2 out of 3 because it wasn't going to be an easy task against these. They were pretty hot coming in, I think. So it wasn't going to be an easy task. So 2 out of 3 I'm happy with. And I think you just keep the series winning happening. Was when you win series, very, very good things happen. So that's my final thoughts.
Yeah, man. Just keep the good times rolling. Let's get 2 out of 3 every single series. And you got a playoff team.
Yeah, literally.
Got a playoff team. Yeah, I guess that's kind of about it from that game. So we'll look ahead to the Red Series Friday night. Or wait, what time is the game on Friday? Is it a night game? I don't even know what time. It should be at 1:20, I would think, because it's a Friday.
Yep, it's 1:20. Yeah,
1:20. Okay. So 1:20, we got Justin Steele, Balls of Steel, up against the flame-throwing Hunter Green. And then Saturday we have Jameson Taillon, whose start was pushed back from tonight to make room for Kyle Hendricks to pitch tonight. He will pitch Saturday. I'll be at that game. Damn, it would have been nice to see Hendricks on Saturday instead, but they wanted to keep him on that 5-day. I get it. Brandon Williamson will pitch, it looks like, on Saturday. And then Drew Smiley against Graham Ashcraft, Arts and Crafts. Graham. on Sunday. So I mean, tough pitching staff you got to deal with here, or tough starters. At least Ashcraft's been really solid for the he's had some ups and downs at least lately, but youngsters like Hunter Green, like he can power it past you. He'll make some mistakes, but very good stuff. And then the Cubs have two of their three best pitching in this series. So, what are your thoughts on this upcoming Red series?
Yeah, definitely look to be aggressive against Hunter Green. I think you hunt that fastball early in the count. So stay aggressive on him. Steele hopefully gives you some more of just what he provides, which is just shut down shit and just nothing through. So I think another good quality start from Steele will be fantastic. Let's get a crooked number up on the board. Hopefully it's a little bit warmer. I think it's supposed to be. So the ball should be flying out. Hopefully it is. And hopefully they stay aggressive on Green.
Yeah, I don't know exactly like temps, but I feel like it is supposed to be a little bit warmer, I think, but this is like one of the colder Memorial Day weekends I can remember. Like, is it Memorial Day weekend? I remember umping tournaments out at, out here locally, umping the kids, and it was, 100 degrees out there with humidity and you're dying and you're all dizzy and there's gnats flying in your water cup and you're trying to pour it over your hat when you're taking them or your mask when you're taking your equipment off between innings, and you still have to drink your water that's not even cold anymore and there's a gnat in it and you're just trying to get extra protein. Like, why is it so cold this time of year? I don't know.
I don't get it either, but yeah, it's definitely colder than it was last year. For sure. And it seems like every year it gets colder and colder throughout spring and summertime. It's like, what the hell is happening? We're losing all of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just weather changing. I don't know, man. And I think hopefully the weather's changing with this Cubs team. Like 2 out of 3, take that all day long
Good
to the
vibes.
bank.
Yep.
Keep the good vibes going. Trying to think. Oh yeah, fly the W pick. Who do you got? Who do you got, Nick? Is it a pitcher? Is it a hitter? Who you got in this series?
Well, yeah, Steele would be definitely the easy piece right there to go with. But I think I'm going to go with Seiya. I really liked his at-bats tonight. I think that he could provide some real power Friday.
I love it. That was my pick this last series. You went with Morel. Both were good picks.
Yeah, Morel worked out.
On Sunday's show, we did on the Sunday show we did.
For Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah, man. Did Seiya, what happened on Tuesday? Why can I not, like, my memory sucks. Who did what on Tuesday? Morel hit one out on
Morel
Tuesday.
did well Tuesday. Yeah, Morel hit a homer. Seiya, didn't he have a double? I think he had a double.
Why do I feel like he hit a homer on Tuesday too?
Did he?
I thought he did.
Well, was it Tuesday? 7. Let's see.
Well, because like I was saying, this would be a good series because he's probably faced Senga overseas. Yeah, he hit one on Tuesday. Seiya hit one on Tuesday. Yeah, both of our guys hit one on Tuesday.
Go.
We had the easy pick, so. But so you're going with Seiya for this series. I don't know what to do. You know what? Somebody who's due right now. Like, not due in a sense of like he hasn't been doing anything, because he'll still take his walks and still, get on base a ton at least. And not crazy clip right now, but even though his average has been lower lately, I think Ian Happ's about ready to, like, if it starts warming up just a little bit at Wrigley, Ian Happ's pretty much due, in my opinion. Scott's in here in the comments. What are you saying about Mervis Morel over 4 home runs in the series? All right.
Yeah.
Is that the prediction? So he's saying over 4 home runs in this Red series. All right. I mean, hey,
combined, yeah, maybe.
I'll take it. Shit.
Well, yeah, I'll take that.
All day
I want to
long.
see Mervis hit one. Yeah, I do. I want to see Mervis hit one for sure.
I do too, man.
That would be not a risky fly that I'll be a pick, but kind of like not as easy of a grab there.
I think he hit one Tuesday too, right? Mervis. Yeah, it was those 3 guys.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
Mervis. And like he has been, It's
When
just
he
ups and
hits the
downs with
ball, it's
him.
so fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it's ups and downs right now. It's not like he's been awful, god awful, or anything like that.
No, no, no.
So I don't mean to sound like that, especially earlier in the show, but it's just little things. Like I'm watching him a little bit like a microscope more than some of the other guys because I'm so eager to see how this thing progresses. And I'm probably speeding him up. Like, like his timeline, that's not the timeline we should be really on, but here we are.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that overall he's gonna turn around. Like you said, he's not the guy that he's showing right now. He's a much better baseball player at all the levels he's been at. He's torn it up. He's gonna figure it out soon. This is just an adjustment period. And what we have to remember is the league adjusts too, and it adjusts quicker every single year.
Yeah, no doubt. But yeah, with that said, at least the bullpen wasn't overly taxed this series because you did have the off day on Monday. You got some solid work yesterday, of course, with Stroman. So you didn't have to use Leiter. You didn't have to use Alzolide tonight. A couple of those mainstay guys. You did use Assad. You used Rucker, and you used Everyday Hughes. And then you used Barnhart. So sorry, we can't use Barnhart tomorrow. I think he's burnt.
No.
What are we going to do?
Yeah, I don't know who's gonna get the ninth there.
Yeah, it's between him or Leiter at this point. We'll figure it out. Oh, he might have some competition there. Leiter might have some competition.
You're right.
But no, man, I'm looking forward to this Red Series. It's going to be great to be back out at Wrigley Field because it's been far too long. I have not had a chance to make many games this year. I think I only made one at this point. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that. That was opening day. Scott's asking, did you talk about the Mets crying about Strosho? No, we did not talk about that. Thank you, Scott.
Thanks.
The
Scott.
Mets, yes. I mean, fuck them for getting all up in arms about. You know what? And it was probably the guy that I was talking high about. It was probably Brandon Nimmo or somebody like that because he played with, who else did he? There were some guys that aren't on the team anymore. Not all these guys were on the team with Stroman, so it might have been somebody that didn't like him or something, didn't get along with him. I'm thinking maybe like a Nimmo who seems kind of like that teacher's pet, type of dude. I don't like turns his homework in early, like never cheats, just looking out for the cheaters in the classroom, like it might have been Nimmo. I don't know.
I think you're on to something there. I could also see McNeil as well for sure. Either way, it's some bitch shit right there. I mean, come on. The Strosho is going to do what he does.
Do what he does, baby.
Do what he does.
I honestly think and was that real or not? That could have been just some false, stupid report because it's like, who gives a shit? Are you not allowed to have fun? Okay, is it because he was like looking at that dugout, kind of like pointing to himself, like because he kind of did do that. I saw that towards the end when he walked off after the double play, but
still weak.
Just
go out there and hit. Yeah, hit. Yeah, right.
You got dominated. I'm sorry.
Exactly. I mean, we could take the other side of things and go, did we fire up the Mets a little too much because of tonight?
Yeah.
Right?
You could say that. And look at the dudes who did damage, too. It was those three.
Exactly. Yeah.
Fuck, that's what happened. Damn it. That's exactly what happened.
It's better to lay low. It's better to lay low, Cubs fans.
We're just going to... Holy shit, dude. Oh, yeah, that was Tuesday night. I was looking at Tuesday's box scores. I'm an idiot. I saw the Blue Jays 20-1. I'm like, again? Okay, no. But, yeah, just got a little excited there. Oh, one other thing, too. Madrigal was the move. Got sent down to AAA in order to call up Hendricks for the start. So, any thoughts on that?
I wasn't completely shocked, but I think it's necessary. It's just not providing what you need. And he's kind of become a black hole in the lineup. So it's a necessary move. I wouldn't want to see anyone else go down. I think that was definitely the move that needed to be done.
Yeah, I mean, I really have no problem with it at all. Like, I didn't even blink an eye when I saw it. I just know that that's something that people are gravitating towards as far as news goes because of the trade, because of the prospect status that he carried, as far as like, first round pick, right there. But the guy had a 62. I just had to look it up while you're talking. 62 WRC plus. That's 38% below league average. That's not good.
Yeah, you don't want that. And not when you have other options that provide something better. I mean, if he's your only option, then okay, but it's not the case at all. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm good with it. I'm totally good with it. Mastrobuoni actually like puts in some decent at bats and like, I mean, if you're gonna have somebody that's, I want to see what Mastrobuoni can do at this point. I don't really care. I mean, I know you want to build Madrigal's value, but he's not playing every day. He plays pretty solid third base defense. Don't get me wrong, but he's a contact hitter that will maybe never hit another home run again. But has he even ever hit a home run in the majors? No, okay, yeah, with the Sox, I think he had two. Nonetheless, it feels like he hasn't. I don't know, man. It doesn't bother me whatsoever. If there's an injury, you want to call him back up or something, or at some point you want to call him back up because of a trade, whatever, that's fine too. But the guy realistically has no everyday playing time future for a team like the Cubs.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with you 100% on that.
So, with that said, Nick, I hope our Fly the W picks hit. I hope they win at both the games that we'll be at. And hope they win tomorrow. Let's get a sweep.
Yeah.
Even though the Mets said no sweep for you this time. Final thoughts before we go ahead and head on out of here.
Yeah, I mean, let's try it again against the Reds. Let's go get that sweep. Division's starting to people are starting to turn shit around in that division. I'd like to see us take it over. So it starts with series sweeps, series wins. Just keep on going.
I'm going to go ahead and look at the standings real quick before we wrap this thing up. Okay, so 4.5 games back at this point. It's doable, man.
Oh, it's very doable.
It's doable. Like we were saying the other night, I mean, this is not a division where you're out of it. Unless Milwaukee really turns it on. I mean, the Cardinals put themselves in such a hole that, of course, they're not out of it.
No.
Because they're only a half game back now of the Cubs, and they've heated it up.
They're playing better. Yeah, it's scary. Fuck them.
But it's like fuck them. But they're not gonna run away with this division at this point because of the hole they put themselves in. So exactly. I think just beat up on your division. So sweep out the Reds, get rid of them. I'm sorry, Nick, Kirby. Sorry, you guys over there. Love you guys at the Late Reds show. But I hope we kick your ass. And the Rays after that. So with that said, just want to remind everybody we are Cubs on Tap, part of the On Tap Sports Network. Go to ontapsportsnet.com to check out all your Chicago sports needs. Bears, Bulls, Blackhawks, Cubs, bets, golf, even the White Sox. I don't know if you guys caught the golf show that we did, but we talked about, me and Jack went over some things. I got to shout out that show. I have to because I'm on that show. So we're looking for more people to tune in. Lately, we've been kind of on a heater, at least starting to get there. Both took down an outright with Brooks Koepka. But obviously, we're mainly focused on the Cubs over here. So on this end, definitely go to Cubbies on Tap on Twitter. That's at Cubbies on Tap. Go ahead and check out the other podcast of OnTapSportsNet.com called Dingers, the Chicago Cubs podcast, at Dinger Cubs on Twitter, and go follow all the guys over there. Make sure you're following Ron at Loose on Tap, Juice at Juice on Tap, Bulls Guy Rob. Nick is at Nick_on Tap. I am at Joey Knows Nothing. Nick, what do you say we get on out of here? The only way that we know how to do every single time.
Fuck those boring ass Cardinals.
And let's go Cubbies.